Hey, what's up everyone? It's Snoo. We have a new farming video for you today. Didn't see this coming. Kind of funny reason why I'm doing this farm. Two reasons really. One is some members of my community are doing a cool variation of Barrel and Go with a little bit more intensity in it. Still back to basics farm. And that is one with Bloodlines. So it's Bloodlines. Wait. Scratch that. Not Barrel and Go, rather just Bloodlines farm in general, and a back to basics farm. I'm doing a Bloodlines Barrel and Go variation. Almost forgot. Yeah, so we're going to see something new today. We're going to see what shifting away from Curation Barrel and Go towards Bloodlines Barrel and Go looks like. It's going to be way cheaper investment. We're going to get a lot less currency per map on average. And the stakes or the sort of range of RNG is not going to be so crazy that I hopefully get screwed over continually 100 maps after 100 maps after 100 maps by failing to drop an unrequited stack. I don't have to worry about that today. I could get a raw mirror drop doing this farm, but that would be the only ultra jackpot potential thing here. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens at the end of this video, the results. Anyway, let me tell you about this farm. We'll get into the details now. You can see I have a whole bunch of different Scarabs. I still got some Breach All Flames, got some maps. Let's start off with the Atlas, which is, go figure, the quintessential back to basics Atlas. Every single Scarab node is taken. Scarabs are going to be the primary farm of this one. And I've noticed, you guys might be noticing, the Curation Scarab is going up more and more and more. I guess I have 1 point not in this for some reason. Weird. Aha. Okay, now it should match the Atlas in the description of the video. And yeah, so this is going to be the Atlas. It's just focusing on Scarabs. It's focusing on increased effect modifiers, non-unique maps. Exactly the same Atlas I've been doing for a long time. Any sort of back to basics Atlas looks more or less like this, making the maps a little easier here with the haunted modifiers. And for these maps, I will be using Breach All Flames only when it's beneficial for like pack size. Or increased quantity of drops, especially touched and possessed monsters, and maybe for some really nasty map. As you can see, I'm not budgeting, all that many all flame, maybe 1 per map on average here. And these aren't terribly expensive. The reason why Breach All Flames of any kind are chosen here is because they seem to be the all flame that offers the highest pack size monsters, while not having a sort of penalty on the loot drops like rats and frogs do. So I recommend Breach All Flames. Are also very cheap because there's like 5 different variants of them and they drop fairly regularly. So even with a higher demand, somewhat higher demand, there's a huge supply of these out there. Unfortunately, so far they've remained pretty cheap. It's nice. For the Scarabs, okay, keep in mind Curation Barrel and Go is just all in Divination Scarabs, right? So now we get to focus on monsters a little bit more by going Hunted Traders, Scarab of Monstrous Lineage, which is going to link up with Bloodlines here. Great combo there, obviously. And Horn Scarab of Glittering. So obviously it's a little bit counterintuitive to use the Glittering Scarab on a barrel farm because it's not going to impact the barrel loot. And so I need to emphasize here for you now that barrels are not the only way we're going to get loot. We're going to be getting loot from monsters too. So it's kind of a double tangent farm here. We're going to be getting barrel loot because the volatile barrels drop a lot of loot. And then we're also going to be getting loot from every monster that is going to be magic or rare or unique. So there are going to be a lot of drops coming at the same time. Now you might be wondering how I'm rolling the maps. The most interesting thing of this farm is probably how I'm rolling the maps. The Regex is linked in the video description. For this farm, it's very similar to, it's kind of like right in between the Meatsacks Regex and the Curation Barrel Go Regex, I guess you could say. Basically, I'm trying to roll each map with an emphasis on Scarabs and barrels. But I don't really care if the barrel roll is good. That doesn't concern me all that much. I just want barrels to be on there. And I want to have at least 2 Scarab rolls and 1 currency roll. Now, one of the Scarab rolls is out of the way because it's the barrel roll. That one mandates, I think, 60% more Scarabs. So each one of these maps, virtually all of these maps, will have over 100% more Scarabs and 60 to 70% more currency. Sometimes I got some really nice Scarab and currency rolls on here, but most of them are just right around that baseline. Some of these maps have a monster pack size multiplier on as well, which is really nice for this farm. But I didn't mandate that. I wanted to keep it fairly simple. I was budgeting kind of my usual, probably about maybe 50 to 100 Chaos Orbs per map, I guess I would say. The map rolling was a little weird because with the Regex that I have set up, I'm also on the side kind of targeting for the other maps. So you see I have 100 maps here, right? I also rolled these at the exact same time. So these maps here are ones that kind of missed for the Regex that I was, well, they missed for what I'm target rolling here for this farm, and they are the Curation Barrel Go maps. So, I mean, you can see that they're kind of pretty close. So if I have like a nice map that spawned a really nice quant, but it only had the barrel roll and no extra Scarab roll, well, you know, I'll just save it back for the Curation Barrel Go. That works, right? Because again, we're kind of target farming Scarabs. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Curation Scarab will be the top line on the value assessment on Wealthy Exile when we see this at the end. I mean, I can't imagine, you know, unless I get like a Hinocor's Lock or a Mage Blood or something, I can't really imagine anything else being higher on the list. Well, Mirror, I guess. Cross our fingers for that. But yeah, that's what all the maps look like. They still have, you know, they're still avoiding some of the crazy other mods. I definitely don't want Union of Souls on this farm. I don't want reduced action speed. I don't want marked for death. You know, there are a few really nasty ones I'm not going to do, just like usual. But yeah, check the regex in the description if you want, so you can see it there. All right, so we have the investment, which is a little bit weird here on this list. Like the Bloodline Scarab is actually a little more expensive, 1.7, 1.8-ish. Glittering's a little bit more expensive, talking in terms of bulk. So the Bloodline Scarab used to be much closer to 1 Divine. Now it's a little more expensive. That's okay. The Curation Scarab and even Completion Divination Scarabs are going up in value, so hopefully I get a little bit of extra value back there. Not exactly sure. At any rate, I budgeted an extra 80 Divines between the map rolling and slight adjustment for the bulky pricing of the Bloodline Scarab especially. In total, 320 Divines for 100 maps. Sounds about right. 3.2 Divines per map. Kind of expensive. I'm still pretty confident I'm going to make currency on this. But I don't know. That's a little bit concerning. Again, I'm not farming divination cards at all. I'm just getting scarabs and currencies and maybe the off chance for like a Mage Blood or something. So the Mage Blood does actually have a reasonable chance of dropping on this farm because of the Glittering Scarab. And if you're using a Scarab, Magic Find on Gear is going to matter a lot less. So this is going to be a nice farm for people who don't have any Magic Find on Gear. Having a little bit of Magic Find on Gear is going to help a little bit, but again, diminished returns is kind of nullifying the value of even, like, what is it, like 43% quant that I have on my gear, something like that. But yeah. Anyway, that's everything for the intro. That's the full setup. Let's start a map here. All right. Okay, still going to be quant. 8% quant, yep. There's no influence here, just the map. Some of these maps will have the antagonist mod in there, increased number of rare monsters. That'll be also really nice because, of course, rare monsters do drop scarabs pretty well in T17s. On that note, I probably should mention there's kind of an alternative form of this farm where instead of prioritizing barrels, you might prioritize the antagonist mod instead, or both, which would really be like the Meatsacks maps of the bygone era now. The Meatsacks All Flame's way too expensive. But anyway, you could run this and instead of, Instead of Hunted Traders, maybe run the Nemesis Scarab. So I could see this farm being pretty good with the Antagonist mod. Again, you can read Antagonist as one of the mods on here. And the Nemesis Scarab, which would add even 2 more rare mods. That would make it easier for Headhunter gameplay. It would help you kind of pass the test of difficulty, making the maps a lot easier if you're running a Headhunter. I don't really need the Headhunter for my build at this point with this kind of gear, this kind of budget of my build. I don't really need the headhunter buffs to get through the map. Hopefully. Although there does tend to be like 1 or 2 maps that are a little questionable. Anyway, oh. Well, we got something really nice here. I think I will go ahead and keep this one on here. When I get the pack size 1 of 1 monster, I might just put a Breach All Flame on there. Just to get rid of it. Because it seems like a waste, right? To just get a 1 of 1 pack size magic monster. But actually, if I have the huge quant multiplier like that, well, maybe I'll leave it on there. Definitely going to put the pack size. Look at this. I went from 19 to 32, all the way from 43 to 57. And I do believe, especially when it's a flat, blanketed 40% increased quant of items drop, this is where the Breach All Flame really comes into play. You get a major power bonus from the All Flame that gives you a lot of pack size. And again, frogs and rats not going to work here because they suppress quant drop. So this is the best time or the best place to use the Breach All Flame. Could even use it here, right, if I wanted to. If I really wanted to, like, I mean, look what that did to the pack size. But it doesn't matter a whole lot if there's not like a blanketed quant multiplier on there. So keep that in mind. First map. First map showcase. Hey, we got a pretty good map here. A lot of quant. I think this is a pretty high roll. Exciting. Oh yeah, harder map. The Elder stuff. I like it. I'd rather get the 1,000 maps done, though, than mess with that. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy, though. Like, even just... Like, imagine... I mean, I keep saying this, but imagine next 100 maps I get unrequited stacked back-to-back, which I obviously deserve. That's going to change... That's going to change everything. Suddenly my cumulative currency per hour is going to go up to above 50. Even this late into it, it's going to go above 50. I think. Woo! Another Curation Scarab. And a Bloodlines together. Ooh, ooh. This farm's good. Whose idea was this again? Give credit to somebody. Oh yeah, I got Bloodline Scarab again. Gotta add that to the list. So weird being... Well, I mean, actually, at one time I was kind of excited about Bloodline Scarab. Back in the Meatsack days. Curation again. Oh. Am I getting lucky? Am I getting lucky on Curation Scarabs? Oh my god, what if there's another one? No, I genuinely wanted to do this farm. I was going to wait until after 1,000 maps was done, then do it, but, well, timing is now. Yeah, that's right. Pumpgun is number 2 NA WoW team. I mean, that's nice and all. But I used to be number 1. I used to be on the number 1 WoW team, World WoW team, like back in the day, so. Been there, done that. Back in Cataclysm and Legion. Both of those expansions. I was number 1 at something. And yeah, the ability to refresh easily, either through what is it called? Defiled Forces, I think it's called, or if you're running crit, then ignite refresh 50% chance per crit, which means, I mean, it would be really easy to just snapshot ignite and just roll it forever. Why am I not using arrogant setup? Because I have no aura effect right now. Look at the map mod. 132% reduced effect of non-curse auras. I don't even get auras. I still run the other auras because I have bonuses through the Watcher's Eye. That still works completely. But not for Vitality. precision stuff. Nice. Another Curation Scarab. Whoa. Alright, Curation and a Bloodlines this map. And Reaper of Souls Season 6 and 7, I think. Season of the Twister Wizard. Holy shit, that was stupid. And my team was, the team I was playing with got rank 2, Greater Rifts, Season 6, I think it was. We'll just stand on a corner. Good coffin. Dragon's Heart, nice. Coffin and Dragon's Heart. We would stand in a corner and then cast a Twister into the corner. And the Pole Monk would pull everything in. This is the dumbest thing ever. The really sad thing is earlier in the league, oh wow, Curation. Earlier in that season, it was actually kind of fun. I was the Twister Wizard and would stand around and like we would try to like. There was a lot of RNG involved with how the Twister would, how it would go. Until it was discovered, you could just slam it into a corner and it would literally just sit there like it was basically a bug essentially. But working as intended, it was fun. It was kind of challenging, and you would try to put the monster in a crevice or something, and cast the Twister into that crevice, and you would actually do a ton of damage that way. But it was legit gameplay. And then it just became stupid whenever the whole like, oh, you can just stack it on the wall. Everybody stand like we were literally like looking at the pixels. And we're like yelling at each other like, hey, you're not in the spot. You're not in the spot. Like standing in the exact spot you should be standing. But yeah, that was group play gone wrong. Group min-maxing. And that only running high Scarabs, 100% or more. Valdo's puzzle box, yo. Nice. That's like worth what a Curation Scarab was worth 2 weeks ago. Curation. Ooh. I got a Curation Scarab on a 56 barrel map. Nah, maybe it wasn't from a barrel though. 58% pack size. What? How is it that low? How can it even be that low? What is this map? I must have flipped the atlas over to the wrong one or something. Keep up with the scaling of content? No. Yeah. Oh my god, what? Wait, this card drops in here? Really? Wow. No Curation is better than Curation. Apparently. What did I do? What did you do for your first one or two mirrors? This league? Oh, that would be mostly farming eye level 84 clusters with Delirium on T17s. So it was a two-way strat. It was boss rushing Abomination with item level 84 clusters. Curation drop. I just realized I'm going to make a video at some point. Then I'm basically going to talk about. I'm going to do. It'll be a cut video, and it'll be the 5 tier 17 farms that I did this league. I'll talk about them and why I liked them. And it'll be that farm. What is the target drop there? Just currency? Like divines? How many divines in 100 maps on average for that? Oh, you get a lot of Valdo's boxes? Oh, so is it like maybe the most legit way to farm a mirror then? Oh, cool. Curation Scarab. Okay, now I see how that could be, potentially. I need to go back and check my Meatsacks farm. Did I have... Maybe somebody else can check, if somebody doesn't mind checking the YouTube on my Meatsacks farm, the end. How many Bloodlines and how many Curations did I have? Baldo's Puzzle Box, yo. This map is... something. Thanks for checking, by the way. Ah, Preservation Scarab. Yeah, totally forgot about that one. I think Preservation is like... maybe 3 times more rare than Curation. Fuck. This was a really meaningful map to score a big basics roll and fucking failed again. It seems like every time I get the quant roll on the Lantern, I get shafted here. But still somehow pull the rabbit out of the hat, I guess. I was like so overdue for that. No joke. It's been like over 10 maps. I think it's been like 15 maps since I dropped a Curation. Wow. Dropped Preservation, but not Curation. Okay, that's like 3,000 Divine Orbs. Preservation Scarab again. Oh my god. It's the opposite of new player friendly. But if you play the game long enough, figure it out over time, you too can play just like me. God, another double completion map. Why do I keep getting fucked by awful RNG on these things? Curation Scarab. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and see just how many maps it's been since I dropped one of those. Because I know it's been at least 20 maps. I think I've only dropped like 2 in 700 maps, by the way. Not exactly sure. Oh. Wow, that was only like 3 maps later. Wow. Alright guys, we've made it to the end of this Scarab farm. Well, you can see I got a few things in my stash tab for what it's worth. A little bit of gambling at the end. Nothing major. Most valuable items that I was tracking here on the right. 12 Curations, 3 Preservation, 31 Bloodlines, 55 Divine Orbs. Everything else is here. It'll be pretty easy to clean out the dump tab. Not even one full quad tab. Haven't had the luxury of cleaning out so little in a while. Anyway, here we go. There's a whole list. Everything's broken down. 513 divines, which means 193 divine net. Looks like it was also around 6 hours, about the same, which kind of makes sense to do the whole farm. Almost 2 divines per map, 32 divines per hour. A little over 32 divines per hour. Now, based on what I'm seeing here, if I pull up, and you can check this on your own time, I got a Meatsacks farm where I farmed way more Scarabs, a much bigger sample size of Scarabs. And judging by those results, and get a sense of the drop rates of all the rare Scarabs, For example, it looks like the Curation Scarabs about twice as rare as Bloodlines, which is about the same rarity as Completion, which are both about twice as rare as Awakening and Containment Scarabs. And based on what I just said there, it looks like I got kind of unlucky. Maybe a little bit lucky with Bloodlines. Because Bloodlines at 31 and then like Awakening and Containment are only at 46, 47. Whereas Completion is at 22. So maybe unlucky with Completion, lucky with Bloodlines, and unlucky with Curation. And everything else more or less sitting where it should. 2 Valdos boxes, 3 Reliquary Keys, 55 Divines. So that was as a result of rolling currency on every single map. 3 Sacred Orbs as well, I believe, if we scroll down here. 1 Cheater was the only sort of actual outlier drop, but it is drop specific to the Fortress map. When you're not using the Curation Scarab, you get the actual map's drops, which is the Dragonheart and Cheater card. Cheater is extremely rare, way more rare than Unrequited Love, I think. To give you, well, no, not way more rare, sorry. It's about the same amount of rarity, I guess, without all the increased Divination card drop chance stuff. Makes it way less likely to appear than an Unrequited in the actual Curation farm. But there it is. I don't know. I'll give some final thoughts in a moment here. First, let's go ahead and val these uniques that all have some potential to be worth something. Well. Don't count your lucky stars just yet. That is a hit. Maximum Endurance Charge, Relicash and Patience. I know that one from last league. Completely missed on everything else. Very worthy Valor. There. Not going to have a twice or nothing Divination card. Not going to have Mad King adorned to check, but still got a few Reliquary Keys and a few Valdos boxes. We'll do those now. Did you know only 1.9 players have beat the Maven? I guess I'm counted even though I got carried on it, huh? I wonder what the real number is for people like not counting carries. I'm sure it's less than 1%. For the record, I have beaten the Maven before. I mean, it was like 8 leagues ago, but I have done it. Not Uber. I've only done one Uber boss, the Uber Eater. What in the world? Like actual trash out of the Reliquary Keys. Here we go. A couple maps here. We got Black Suncrest and Darkness Enthroned. Darkness Enthroned? I don't know what Darkness Enthroned is. What is Darkness Enthroned? I don't know what it is. Oh. Sticking. Okay. Yeah. Abyss unique belt. Right. I almost made a league starter with that once. Well, the best thing that happened to me in this whole set was corrupting Relicash and Patience, I'd say. Anyway, let me give you some final thoughts about this farm. So, just to reiterate, the reason I was doing this farm, twofold. One, ran out of money on the Divination farm. I was getting squeezing me too tight on like setting up the buying 100 Curation Scarabs time and time again. And the Curation Scarab price keeps going up, so had to make some currency somewhere, somehow. Didn't make as much as I hoped. It was only 30 div per hour. I was expecting 50 div per hour, at least here, considering I was rolling the maps with a double Scarab roll and one of them being barrels and a currency roll with it. But yeah, probably just got a bit unlucky with Curation. Was probably supposed to drop at least 15 of them, not 12. So that makes a bit of a difference. So I would suspect that if I did this one over and over again, I would probably get upwards of 50 div an hour, normally, I would imagine. And you got to keep in mind, no outliers on the currency side. You would see Hina Core's lock and even a mirror drop eventually if it did enough maps like this. So a pretty cool step down from Curation Divination Barrel Farm, because it's, you know, basically guaranteed to profit at least a little bit. The stakes are nothing like that other farm. And it's still essentially doing the same thing, though, performing the farm. I would say this was actually a little bit harder because all the monsters were magic or more. That didn't help with my headhunter buffs, and the monsters are all just a little bit harder. But I was still able to go through the maps. Same pace. Anyway, I do recommend this farm. I think it would be pretty good. The only thing to step down from here would be to sub out the Bloodlines Scarab and the Monstrous Lineage Scarab for a couple of Mysterious Scarabs. And that would just be straight up Barrel and Go, which is the same thing that Grimrow, Impy, and Fubgun advertised earlier this league. And that would maybe garner even higher profit margins. I don't know. Because the Bloodline Scarab is 2 div a piece, almost, at this point. But, yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I do think this farm will suit you guys pretty well. A nice, sort of middle-of-the-road T17 back to basics. 3 to 4 minutes per map if you've got a strong enough character. You don't have to think too much of it. You can do these maps in your sleep. Again, if you got the character for it. And you don't have to worry about losing currency after 100 maps. Almost no way that would happen. And get a few jackpot drops, potentials, mirror, Hina Core's, a cheater card, I guess. A Mage Blood could definitely drop in this farm. I saw more uniques through the Glittering Scarab. Actually going to see some uniques dropping as well. So I don't think I got a single tier 0 unique. I'm kind of surprised. Actually, even got a Seer to spawn on one map. Still no tier 0. That's it for now. We're going to continue back with 1,000 maps, I think. Hopefully, this little bit of currency will set me up, well, for the rest of the farm. 300 maps left to do, 1,000 maps. But this was a quick little break. 100 maps of Bloodlines Barrel and Go. I liked it. It was good. So I'll see you in the next video.